Most people think they're going to break into tech sales and make bank right away as an account executive. They think they're going to tap into crazy commission, but the reality is there's a lot of sellers that are only making their base salary and they're not making any commission. In this video, we're going to dig into two of the biggest reasons why account executives don't make any commission. They don't make good money in tech sales, so that you can avoid these pitfalls yourself to make it rain. The first major reason why account executives don't make the commission that they could in tech sales is because they choose the wrong company to work for in the first place. Maybe you're selling at an early stage startup that just got its seed round or Series A, and it's so early in its journey that you don't even know who the true customers are. The product isn't fully developed, and it's not solving clear challenges or pain points. And maybe there's no differentiation of the product that a seller could actually latch onto to sell their solution versus the competition. Maybe you chose to sell for a company whose customers are small and medium business that has basically no budget, and the deal sizes when you do close them are so small that you barely make any commission per deal. You could sell a bunch of deals, but you're still not going to make that much. Maybe you're selling a solution that's a nice to have. It's cool, it does interesting things, and it boosts productivity, but it's not core to business operations. So in a downturn, it's going to be the first software to go, and maybe the solution is just hard to sell in the first place, regardless of a downturn or not, because you can't really connect the solution to a clear, verifiable ROI, which is what the CFO and the decision makers at companies actually care about to move forward on a solution and make the investment. And finally, maybe you landed a role at a consulting services company where you're selling to small and medium businesses that don't have big budgets in the first place, and you're selling projects where you're not paid on the revenue of the project, but you're paid commission on the profit of the project. And each project has 30% margin. So if you sell a 100K project and the margin's 30%, the company makes 30K and you get paid commission on 30K. There are companies like that don't pay you on revenue and they pay you on profits. So how do you avoid landing at the wrong company where you're doomed to a commissionless sales existence? Do your homework up front. Look at data sources like RepView and Glassdoor. Just use your friend Google. And also look at websites like Prospect, I think it's called Join Prospect, where you can vet out companies and see which companies actually have product market fit, have huge total addressable markets, have differentiated solutions and product recognitions, and are leaders in specific categories where you know you're going to be positioned to actually sell those solutions and bring value to prospects and make a lot of money as a consequence. But vetting the opportunity doesn't stop with doing your online research. You also need to connect with account executives, at least one account executive at the company you're applying to, and ask them about their experience, if they're hitting their numbers, if reps are hitting their numbers, and what percentage of reps they think are actually being successful. And in addition to talking to account executives at the company, you're going to want to ask the hiring manager in your interview process about the success of their reps and what percentage of reps are hitting their numbers and how the overall organization is performing. And the second reason you're not going to make commission as an account executive is because of territory and timing. If you're in a crappy territory with a bad book of business and the timing's off with your customers in your territory and they're not in their buying windows, then there's no way that you're going to be successful. The reality of tech sales is that there's a lot out of our control as a seller that influences our success. You could be the most talented seller at the company, but if your territory and timing is off, you might fail miserably. And on the flip side, you could be an average or subpar seller, but have a great territory with great timing and actually exceed your numbers and make good money. I'll never forget my first account executive role at Oracle. I had freshly been promoted from the SDR role, and I had no closing experience, and I really didn't know what I was doing. But I had networked to get into an amazing territory, and the timing was great for me that year. And I had some of the best accounts like AAA and an account called SunGuard Availability Services that was known to be the most lucrative account in national tech, which was the specific division I was in. I had customers that spent a lot on Oracle database already, and they needed more. And I remember in Q4 when SunGuard Availability Services needed some more database licensing to the tune of $700,000. And I told him, sure, I'll get you a quote, but I noticed you looked at performance tuning in the past and security add-ons, and I'm curious, do you want to look at these as well? What about this add-on? And they agreed to those add-ons, and next thing you know, I had $1 million deal that I closed. In my first closing role, I hit my number halfway through the year, taking 2-hour lunch breaks. And I was making deep six figures, buying my whole team coffees on Fridays, eating out all the time, with more money than what a 23, 24-year-old knew what to do with. In that role, I wasn't really selling. I wasn't even a good salesperson yet. I was more of an order taker. But looking back, I have to give myself a lot of credit because I networked to get into the right territory and timing where I'd be set up for big success with ease. In tech sales, regardless if we have a winning attitude and an amazing skill set, so much of our success is out of our control. It's influenced by macroeconomic factors like the geography and the market we're selling into, the customers we're dealing with, and how their businesses are functioning and operating. And a lot of success is about having the right customers and timing with those customers. You could be the most talented seller, but if you have a territory of 10 to 15 accounts and 5 to 10 of those are struggling as a business, or for whatever reason, they're not going to do business with you that year because maybe they just did a multi-year renewal with a competitor, you're not going to have much to work with. If you're selling cloud services to small and medium businesses and mom and pop manufacturing shops that don't really use the cloud to operate their business or barely spend on cloud, then you could be at a great company with a great product, but unfortunately, your customers aren't very good customers and you're not going to make a lot of money. Maybe you're in a role at a big tech company where you're not selling the core product that's the company's bread and butter, that's a leader in the industry and that really sells itself, and you're selling a peripheral product that's a new product that maybe is an add-on to the core product. And maybe when it comes to that specific solution, that peripheral product, your company is way behind in the market, and there's an 800-pound gorilla and maybe a couple of those that are way ahead of you that are the de facto solution that it's hard to rip and replace. Imagine being at Amazon Web Services, the greatest cloud company in the world, where companies like Netflix spend $1 billion a year to operate their whole infrastructure and their whole business on AWS, but you're selling to the retail vertical. And the thing about the retail vertical is they see Amazon as their biggest competitor. And they see running on AWS, Amazon Web Services, Amazon's cloud infrastructure, as funding their competition, Amazon.com. I've heard stories of AWS sellers who sold into retail that got responses from C-levels at their target companies saying, hey, I wish we could do business with you, but our board would never allow it because they see you as our competition. That's an example of a role within AWS that's such a great company where you can make so much money where you wouldn't want to be. You'd want to avoid that role. You'd want to sell to the Netflixes of the world, or at least companies that don't see Amazon as competition. I also look back to when I was at Google Cloud and I was selling into Seattle, which was my competition, AWS and Microsoft Azure's backyard. That was literally the headquarters of those companies. And I was selling to customers that were more likely to use the competition and be ingrained with the competition because my competitors had huge local presences there. I still ended up hitting about 97% of my number in that role, which was great considering that it was steep competition. And some of the executives I met with Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, the week before, right? So imagine that. I did well, but that wasn't an easy life. There are territories and regions with Google Cloud where it's easier to win, like San Francisco, for example, with a lot of digital native startups that love Google, and that's closer to where Google's headquarters is. Now, I will say that a mid-market enterprise role where you're selling to companies in the hundreds of millions to low billion-dollar range in revenue, those are good roles where you're going to have customers that are likely to be big enough to do large deals, but also enough of a customer base, a large enough volume of customers to have more at-bats to be successful. Unlike being in an enterprise sales role where you could have 5 or 10 accounts and it's feast or famine. You either have great accounts or you have accounts that just aren't in a position to do business with you, and you really struggle. So to avoid the wrong territory and timing, just as I advised when it comes to avoiding working at the wrong companies, you want to do your homework. And within the context of a company that you're looking at working at, you want to talk to AEs to understand the lay of the land and understand what regions tend to do better, what your ideal clients look like. And you want to ask questions of the hiring manager to understand the nature of the specific role and territory that you're probably going to be put in. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a more nuanced perspective of how to go into opportunities at companies with your eyes wide open and to figure out how to navigate to the best territory with the best timing to set yourself up to make more commission as an account executive and avoid being an account executive that only makes their base salary. That's not a fun life in tech sales. Instead, you want to be in a place where you're winning. Speaking of winning, I want you guys to win. I want you to be successful breaking into tech sales for the first time and getting promoted to account executive and growing your career and helping you navigate from good opportunities to even better opportunities on your tech sales journey. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more videos like these committed to your tech sales success. And if you're ready to break into tech sales for the first time at an amazing company that sets you up for long-term success, and you want to do it in the next 12 weeks, then check out my collection of courses, Tech Sales Accelerator, linked in the description of this video. It doesn't just give you the blueprint to break into a top company, but it also gives you the exact blueprint to get promoted from SDR to account executive. So by the way, if you're an SDR at a big tech company or even a startup, check out the SDR Success Blueprint portion of Tech Sales Accelerator, which will help you be more successful. And I do have SDRs at Oracle and other companies that are going through the SDR Success Blueprint to accelerate their promotion to account executive to join the six-figure earners club. Whether you're an aspiring SDR or current SDR looking to be successful on this path, if you're interested in Tech Sales Accelerator, feel welcome to book time with me at my Calendly, linked in the description of this video, where we can talk directly about your vision, your challenges, and I can share how Tech Sales Accelerator can empower your personal tech sales goals. Thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this community that we're building together. I respect you for investing in your personal and professional development and your tech sales dreams. And to your success in tech sales and in life, happy selling and happy living. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.